Batavia's best music.
Now, commercial free all day on 90.7 FM and even more places with the TuneIn Radio app.
Listen on TuneIn Radio.
90.7 FM. The music.
Motorsports 360 back in your life. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening to us. Live from Genesee Community College here in Batavia, New York. Tune in 90.7 FM and on YouTube. August 8th, 2017. What's up, everyone? Marty Sakala here. Hope you all are having a great day today. Oh my goodness, it was a fun weekend. It wasn't my home track of Watkins Glen International for the races. You know, I go to Michigan every year for the 400 race. I already went to my NASCAR race of the year, which was months ago. But anyway, let's get on the show. Let's meet the crew for tonight. We have, first off, Michael Kelly.
Hey. Marty, did you see what Logan put in the chat?
Yes, I did. That's some breaking news right there. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then we also have Cody Smart.
Hello, you're doing very well. How's it going today?
All right. And Kelvin will actually be joining us in a few moments on the show. So if anyone wants to be a part of the show, you can just go over to my YouTube channel, Marty Sakala, if you're listening right now on 90.7. Just look up my name and then go to my channel, and you find the first video you see, which is the live stream for Motorsports 360. Not only do you get to be a part of the chat, but you also do get a video feed as well. And we got two people in the chat already. We got Derek Hamill and Daniel Voiles. Voiles and Hamill, how you guys doing today?
Derek,
anyway,
what's up? Hey, Derek.
Let's get on with the program. All right. So first off, let's talk about some Cup Series racing at Watkins Glen. Before I get into detail about the race, it was the quickest NASCAR race in history, NASCAR Cup race in history in the modern era. 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 3 seconds. Anyway, so on stage 1 concluded, your top 10 was Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, Jamie McMurray, Joey Logano, AJ Allmendinger, Casey Kane, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And then stage 2, your top 10. How about Daniel Suarez holding off Martin Truex Jr. to win his first playoff point of the season? Third would be Matt Kenseth. Fourth, Ryan Blaney. Fifth, Eric Jones. Sixth, Denny Hamlin. Seventh, Brad Keselowski. Eighth, Kurt Busch. Ninth, Kyle Busch. And 10th, AJ Allmendinger. And then it got to a fuel mileage race where anyone could win it. And at the end, Martin Truex Jr. runs out of gas at the line, beating Matt Kenseth for the win. That is his it's his 11th Cup Series victory of his career. I believe this is for this season for him, if I'm correct. Let's take a look. Well, we don't know. Is it 4?
Yep.
And he's got 34 playoff points because of it. Holy cow.
He doesn't even have to show up.
Yeah. Anyway, rest of the top 10. Kenseth second, Daniel Suarez third, Denny Hamlin fourth, Clint Bowyer fifth, Kurt and Kyle Busch sixth and seventh respectively, Ryan Blaney eighth, AJ Allmendinger ninth, and Eric Jones is 10th. In case anyone is wondering where Brad Keselowski finished, because he led a lot of the race, finished 15th. The reason why? Because he had a penalty for driving through 3 pit stalls on the final on the green flag run of the final laps of the pit stops. And then we get to the Xfinity Series race. Another fun fact: this race was 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 13 seconds. The Xfinity Series race lasted longer than the Cup Series race. How rare is that?
Have you ever?
No, I've never. Anyway, so I'll start on lap 6. Spencer Gallagher spins on the front stretch, bringing out the first caution in the race. Then lap number 19, the number 14 car of J.J. Yaley stalls in turn 7. Lap 35, another caution comes out from fluid out from the 78 of Stephen Young. And stage 1, in the conclusion of that, by the way, the top 10 was Brad Keselowski, followed by Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Justin Allgaier, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer, Brendan Poole, Brendan Gong, and Blake Cook. And then in stage 2, your top 10 for that, it was Austin Dillon, I believe it was, in the 2. Yeah, no, Paul Menard, excuse me. Paul Menard, followed by Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Elliott Sadler, Justin Allgaier, Blake Cook, Brandon Jones, Eric Jones, and Daniel Hemrick. And then at the end of the day, Kyle Busch gets the win, leading 43 laps of 82, taking the win. Joey Logano would finish second, Brad Keselowski third, Justin Allgaier fourth, Paul Menard fifth, Kevin Harvick sixth, Ty Dillon seventh, Eric Jones eighth, Brendan Gaughan ninth, and William Byron rounds out the top 10. Let's see what you people are saying in chat at the moment. Uh-oh, did I close out my chat by mistake? Yes, I did. Let's load up my chat room then. While we are... That's why I'm having some technical difficulties at the moment, trying to get our research back together, if you know what I'm talking about. All right, so now we are back in the chat. Hello to William Brock, who just joined. You're doing good. That's good, Voyles. All right. Anyway, let's get on to the headlines. So we have a few big stories that just came out today. The first one just came in now. Bubba Wallace will be driving the number 99 in the Truck Series this weekend, according to a tip from one of Mike and I, our friend named Logan.
Thank you, Logan.
Yes, thank you, Logan. But then we get to the bigger news. Dun, dun, dun. Announced a few days ago, actually yesterday, Casey Kane is going to be released from Hendrick Motorsports following the end of the season. Hendrick and Casey Kane will end their 6-year run together. So we don't know where he's going to be at for 2018, but multiple sources, though, have confirmed who's going to be replacing Casey Kane. It will be William Byron driving the number 5 car in 2018. He turns 20 in November, has 3 wins this season in the Xfinity Series, and will be replacing Kane. You want to know what's funny about this? So you got William Byron, Alex Bowman, and Chase Elliott. When they get into the series, they'll be in their early to mid-20s. Jimmy Johnson, who's the lone wolf, he's going to be 42 when they begin in 2018.
He's going to be the only driver from the Hendrick fleet in 2015.
Yeah.
You guys feel old yet?
No.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't. All right, some more silly season news. Michael, you might want to listen to this, but Danica Patrick's future in Stewart-Haas Racing will be dependent on sponsorship. Amid one of the most productive stretches of her NASCAR career, Danica Patrick faces the possibility that it could all end after the season because of sponsorship shortfalls. In an interview with USA Today Sports on Saturday at the Glen, she seems at peace with the prospect. Various outlets have reported that Stewart-Haas Racing had begun negotiations with Patrick to extricate itself from the final year of her contract, but the situation isn't even that complex. Some big news that came out.
I like how you just call me out every time you bring up something about Danica.
Some big news coming out of the world of, well, I don't know why I'm saying the word of NASCAR, but this came out the day after we did our previous show. But the start-finish line is now the overtime line for races. It was a decision that began this past weekend at the Cup Series and Xfinity Series races, but we didn't need it at all, luckily. Steve O'Donnell, NASCAR Executive VP and Chief Racing Development Officer, has said that they've been looking at the overtime procedure for quite some time. After many discussions with key figures throughout the industry, we recognize that having the start-finish line serve as the standard overtime position will benefit the race and, most importantly, our fans. Anyway, if we did use the overtime line this weekend, it would be located near the entrance of Turn 3 on oval tracks. Not sure where it would be at Watkins Glen. But luckily, you know what this means, guys? Unlimited greenway checkers unless weather or darkness develops.
With every 5 bad decisions that NASCAR makes, one good one comes out of it.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Anyway, Watkins Glen President Michael Printum made a statement regarding the start time of the NASCAR Cup race at Watkins Glen. It was a 3rd consecutive sellout of grandstand seating. However, though, the green flag went off at 3:18 this year after a 2:49 race start last year. Following scheduled starts were 2:18 in 2015 and 1:19 in 2014. Fans let them know about their frustrations Saturday morning during a coffee and donuts meet and greet. Here's the state of Printer said. It's absolutely ridiculous for our fans, and I have no problem saying that. When you're doing what you're doing, and this is not an arrogant statement, you can stand on a pedestal and say we are selling out, and then I've got 1,000 out of 4,000 the other day telling me that they're not coming back because of start time if it's that late. That's concerning because it means we're not selling out if that happens. We'll talk more about that later on during discussion time. The IRS has issued a tax lien against BK Racing this week. It's the third tax lien against the organization since in less than a year. So the tax lien issued Tuesday to the North Carolina Secretary of State's office is for $180,000 and $180,794.97. It's for the tax period ending on March 31st. IRS tax filings were also filed on April 25th, which was for $163,000. And then, and also it was another tax lien that was for $322,000. This could mean the end of BK Racing. We'll talk more about that on discussion time later on. Coming off of Twitter, besides Bubba Wallace driving the 99 for this weekend's truck race in Michigan, he could be running the Chicagoland Cup race. Adam Stern on Twitter reported that Nickelodeon will have Bubba Wallace serve as the ambassador of a community art event in Chicago Saturday. And ladies and gentlemen, look who is joining. Oh my goodness, he's got Burger King. What's up, Kelvin?
Not much, man.
Just Kelvin, I'm sorry.
I like your shirt.
I feel so bad for you when I heard the news yesterday.
Because you worked there.
Yeah.
You worked there. You little intern, you.
Yeah. Anyway, Michael just asked you a question, by the way. Let's get he'll get the headphones on, Michael, and then he will ask you. Oh man, that smells good, by the way.
I know, I was hungry.
All right. Go ahead, ask him, Michael.
It wasn't a question. I was just saying I'm so sorry, Kelvin.
I know. It's kind of a bummer, but everybody knew it was going to happen.
Yeah,
Hendrick was going to the younger side anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's still sad.
Yeah. I think he ends up. I got a thing of where he ends up later.
And you called it, by the way. You called it. Anyway, so going back to what we were just talking about, so Nickelodeon would be interested in sponsoring Bubba Wallace for the September Cup race if Bubba does run. Most likely could be a second Richard Petty Motorsports non-charter vehicle. So in case anyone has been wondering where this guy named Josh Wise has been, he had 156 career starts in the Cup Series, recording a top 10 finish at Talladega in 2015 for Phil Parsons Racing. He is actually retired from stock car racing. 2016 was the California native's last full year as a driver. Right now, Josh Wise's goal is teaming up with Chip Ganassi Racing with the goal of coaching up-and-coming drivers Brennan Poole and Tyler Reddick. Are those onion rings?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like chicken fry sauce?
Man. Sauce.
Oh boy, you're getting me hungry. And I went to Black North Inn for lunch.
It's my first thing I've eaten all day, man.
Really? And some sad news to report at the end. Former NASCAR team owner Harry Scott, who fielded cars in the Cup Series from 2013 to 2016, died Wednesday at the age of 51. He purchased Phoenix Racing in August of 2013 and competed up until last season with drivers Justin Allgaier, Clint Boyer, and Mike Ornette. He also co-owned Turner Scott Motorsports, was competed in the Xfinity and Camping World Truck Series before closing in 2014. He was also heavily involved in the Regional Series, winning 4 K&N Pro Series East titles as a co-owner with Dylan Kwasniewski, Ben Rhodes, William Byron, and Justin Haley. Scott's family said via statement, "We are shocked and saddened. Harry will be remembered as a loving family man and successful business owner." He was 51 years old. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. Well, not really a commercial break.
It's a commercial station.
Yeah, it's a commercial-free station. Play some college announcements for you real quick. So, yeah, we'll be right back. Stay with us on Motorsports 360.
Grown-ups, they're so clueless. They don't even notice the tobacco marketing in the stores. Hello, it's so obvious, right there at the checkout. I practically grew up with it. I already have a favorite brand and I don't even smoke yet.
Studies show kids are twice as likely as adults to notice and remember retail tobacco advertising. And the more they see, the more likely they are to smoke. It's time to protect our kids from tobacco marketing in stores. Learn what you can do at tobaccofreenys.org.
You've heard it in the car.
Oh, hey, do you hear that?
You've heard it in your house.
There it is again.
You've heard it in your favorite place on campus.
Okay, what's going on?
Now hear 90.7 The Music FM in even more places with the TuneIn Radio app. Available for Apple and Android. Details at WGCCFM.com.
Welcome back to Motorsports 360. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat room real quick. What is going on? Elijah Gordon, also known as Max the Hedgehog. If you want to substitute, you're more than happy to fill in. All right. Let me send you out the link, Elijah, and yeah, we'll get that link to you as soon as I get the first discussion time question. So the first question for you guys is, how do you see William Byron performing in the 5 car next season? I see you're eating your snack, so we'll get to you in a moment. So let's start off with Michael.
One season to get accustomed to these Cup cars, figure out what he's doing, get some chemistry built with whoever his crew chief is going to be. Then in 2019, that's when that first victory is going to come. I just feel like that's how it's going to work with these young guns, with all them coming up so quickly. Yeah, I don't really see Byron winning a race next year, but probably chase berth. I think we can all agree on that.
Already, Cody.
Oh, boy. That is news that I somewhat did not want to hear. Why, you may ask? Well, I may have explained about this yesterday in the NRA podcast. Big shout out to them on that, and in a previous episode of Motorsports 360 if I haven't already. So I'm going to make this long story short. Talent of the driver and the car needs to be matched in order to pretty much show the driver's maximum potential. So I'm going to explain this with the 5 car and William Byron. This 5 car isn't really doing the best this season. It has been doing good lately. I mean, yes, it is probably the second to least best car now because the E8's been falling like heck. But once they get Alex Bowman in there, I'm pretty sure it'll improve. And I'm feeling quite concerned that the 5 car will be the worst car in Hendrick Motorsports and will probably do as good as probably Trevor Bain's car, for example. And then we take a look at William Byron. Heck, he's doing as good in the Xfinity Series as Martin Truex in the Cup Series. Once you get William Byron in that 5, that prestige, that advantage that Byron had before is pretty much going to decrease. So I probably see him being a big contender for Rookie of the Year next season, but I do not see results for him in 2018, and it's probably going to be a downhill for William Byron. I just feel a little concerned about him, and that's right before I said probably Justin Allgaier to the 5, because his talent, especially passing the Cup Series and the 5 car, they would mix. This would mix better. And then I was thinking with Jimmy Johnson, he has an extension up to 2020, and after he could potentially retire after the 2020 season, that's when you put Byron in the 48, because I know as a fact that the 48 car and all of its equipment, plus William Byron in there, would be a great, great future in the making. So I'm actually feeling pretty concerned for William Byron right now.
All right. What do you think, Kelvin?
If I'm not mistaken, who are the 2 that garage together at Hendrick Motorsports? Because he has 2 garages and 2 teams are in each one. If I'm not mistaken, the 5 car and the 88 car have been put together.
I thought it was 524 and then 4888.
That's what it is. 4888, 524.
Because Junior was with the 24 car at one point, and then they moved. I thought they moved him again. So okay, so you have Chase and Kane together, and then Junior and Nincompoop there, Jimmy Johnson together. And I'm not knocking Jimmy Johnson whatsoever because of what he's done, but he has been coddled by Hendrick ever since he won his first championship at the program. Yeah. He's gotten everything that's been the best in that department. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's his fault. Heck, if you're winning, you're going to get everything that's the best to go with you. But the 5 car and the 88 have gotten nothing in the last 2 years put together. Casey Kane, sure, he's fallen off in the last 3 years. He took 106 races to win before that big win at Indy. But Before that, he had just as much power as Jimmy Johnson did. He was running consistently. You look back at his second year at Hendrick, he put up 19 top 10 finishes. It's the most he's ever had. So the 5 car, it's wherever Hendrick wants to put the power. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is what's going to happen. Casey Kane, the last 3 weeks, since he's won at Indy, he's running the top 10. Both races, he was in 7th before he had to pit because he was running out of fuel at Watkins Glen. So there's another top 10 finish. Because of fuel, he doesn't get the top 10 finish. So that 5 car, you're going to see an increase in speed because William Byron's going into it. So Casey Kane's going to be a contender in the playoffs now with that win at Indy. He's going to get out of that ride. William Byron's going to go into it. He's going to do the same thing Chase Elliott did last year and is doing this year. He's going to be consistent, and it's going to be consistent, and you're going to see the Rick Hendrick power that you've seen in all 4 cars now coming back because he's gone younger, and he needs to prove it, and he needs to prove a point that, yeah, I went in the right direction putting young guns in my cars and not sticking with veteran drivers for another year or two and letting my younger talent develop in the Xfinity Series. William Byron, he's going to be fine. He's going to be just like Chase Elliott was last year, consistent top 15 driver.
I'm going to be honest here. I believe I'm going to make a bold prediction. William Byron wins a race next season, and it will be before Chase Elliott gets his first.
William Byron's going to win at Michigan next year.
You think he'll win at Michigan?
William Byron wins the first race at Michigan next year. That's where he'll win his race.
That's what you think? You're calling it?
Yep.
All right, let's see. He's won so far at Iowa, Michigan, Daytona, and Indianapolis. Hey, who knows? He could be even a contender for the Daytona 500. I mean, Trevor Bayne did it as a rookie in 2011.
Everyone's a contender for the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Especially with the new rules package they're looking at going to next year for the restrictor plate tracks. Trust me, that race can go to Danica Patrick for all I'm saying. But trust me, that's not who I'm saying is going to win it because I have a prediction for later on where Casey Kane drives next year.
That's actually our next question.
Danica won't have a chance to win the 500 next year. You know why?
I'll tell you why.
Because she won't have a ride next year. That's why.
All right, so question number 2, where does Casey Kane go from here? How about we start with you first?
I just mentioned who's out of a ride next year. Danica Patrick will no longer be driving for Stuart Haas Racing. She wrecks 2-man race cars. She's not consistent enough in the sport. And guess who Casey Kane teams with in the World of Outlaw Series? Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
In Haas Racing. He's going to go drive the 10 car. And Danica Patrick's out of a ride.
She goes back to IndyCar.
Nope.
She retires?
She retires.
Whoa.
Wow. There we go.
Ricky Stathouse wants to start a family. He's already said it.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. That's interesting.
Yeah. She's got so many other hobbies. I would not be shocked if she retired this year.
She's made enough money.
Yeah. From that GoDaddy sponsorship back in the day.
Oh, she's making it off that Nature's Bakery now,
Yeah, that too. All right, what do you think, Cody?
I actually saw a Facebook post a little while ago, which this is only a rumor. This is only a rumor. This is not confirmed. I have heard that GMS Racing will try to open up in the Cup Series in 2018 and will try to field 2 cars. I saw a post saying that one of them will most likely be Spencer Gallagher because of family, not because he's consistent in the Xfinity Series. And then the second driver, they said possibly Casey Kane. So I am pretty sure that because of that, Casey Kane will probably go to GMS, especially because of Chevy. Kane's experience with the Chevys, plus he's been trying to get his rebound before, so he can probably continue that at GMS Racing and probably become a surprise driver in the Chase or something. So I would see Casey Kane going to that new team at GMS Racing and probably either be as consistent as he is this year, only because it's a new team, or he goes out there, gets a win, and becomes the biggest underdog in the current Chase era.
Alrighty. I was originally thinking going into the show that GMS with BK Racing having their 3 tax lanes, I think they're going to go out of business because of that. That GMS Racing would buy them out. They would switch to Toyotas. and then Casey King would drive a 23. But I like what you said about Danica. I don't think she'll have a ride for next season, to be honest, as well. And I actually do think that Casey would drive the 10, and then because Casey and Tony, like you said, they'd team up in the World of Outlaws. Hey, Elijah, what's up?
Hello.
All right, let's continue on. Same question, Michael.
Man, Marty, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say it was going to be GMS moving up the Cup. Casey King was going to be their driver with Hendrick's support. But I can't really dispute what Kelvin said. That's a really good point. I never really thought of that. I'm going to agree with that until I hear some sort of news about GMS saying they are definitely going to move up. I'm going to say he joins Stewart Haas Racing.
All right. What do you think, Elijah?
I think it'd be cool if they moved up, but at the same time, they're moving up way too fast. They started up in the truck series like for the past, 2-3 years? Then they moved up to Xfinity full time. Now we're hearing that they could go to Cup. It would be cool to see them, but if you're going to go up to the Cup series, at least just stay in the Xfinity series for the next few more years. And then once you're ready, go up to the Cup series, just basically whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. All right. So let's get down to question number 3 on discussion time. It's about what NBC did over the weekend. And if you guys did not know, while Rick Allen was in London, they decided to do a multi-vantage broadcast similar to MRN Radio. They had Lee Diffie and Steve Letarte up in the booth on the front stretch. And then they had Mike Bagley, who's from MRN, in the S's, going into the bus stop. Parker Kligman does the bus stop and the carousel. And then Jeff Burton does turn 6 and turn 7. My question for you guys is, do you guys like the multi-vantage broadcast on TV, and should it be used when the Xfinity Series goes to Mid-Ohio, Road America, and or if Fox goes to Canada? Elijah, we'll start off with you.
When they did that, it was phenomenal. It was absolutely, they did a phenomenal job. And, I think we could see this more often.
Okay. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah, I think the performance was really great by everybody at the Glen. They get one commentator focusing one part of the racetrack. They get like 5 or 6 others. Despite that being like so many people at once, it was actually pretty good. At a very large racetrack like Watkins Glen and some of the other road courses, it is probably a good idea to say, hey, let's just have somebody at this random turn or these random turns, and then just talk about those specific turns. So I really like what NASCAR did. I hope they eventually do it on the road courses, because I already have like a very small idea for Sonoma next year if Fox were to do this. Like, I could already see in the front stretch being like, Mike Joy and Dale Waltrip, for example. And then you can have Jeff Gordon in another spot, and then maybe Tony Stewart in another. The possibilities are possibly endless here. So I'm really happy with what NASCAR did at the Glen, and I hope they do it again in the future at other road courses.
All right. What do you think, Kelvin?
Why haven't they been doing this the whole time? They've wanted to gain prestige somewhere since the declining numbers have come in. And this is one way to do it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't happen at just road courses. It should happen at every super speedway we go to, i.e. Talladega, i.e. Daytona. Those 2 other big tracks that the actual commentators actually have to watch a TV screen for to see anything, because it's such a big track. I would like to see it happen there as well, at like Daytona and Talladega, only because your announcers are watching a 13-inch television to see what's going on down a country mile away from them on the backstretch. Granted, the field's close enough together you could see everything on that little 13-inch TV, but to have somebody who's right next to it being able to see it and explain what's going on a little bit better would help with your TV ratings, I think.
All right. I was impressed by the idea that NBC did this multi-vantage broadcast. Good decision to bring Mike Bagley to the NBC broadcast. I would have liked it if he had Dave Moody go to the NBC broadcast. Because he has covered for back when NBC and TNT had that merge thing. I think it was a 2001 race. I believe it was either Memphis or at Gateway. He did play-by-play because Alan Bestrick was in Martinsville that weekend. But I think that NBC, it's going to depend because, Mid Ohio and Road America, those are standalone races. That would be tough. You got Jim Noble, you got Alex Hayden. It could be tough to get those multi-vantage broadcasts for those standalone races. I would understand that. But for the truck series, I could see them getting it definitely because that's the only series they're focusing on right now on Fox Sports because Cup and Xfinity is on NBC at the moment. You could have maybe Todd Bodine cover one section of the track, and then I don't know who else maybe. That would be tough, but I could actually really see that happening. Michael.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the broadcast this weekend. For one thing, no Rick Allen. That was really nice. I really like Leigh Diffie. I would not mind if Rick stayed in London forever. Leigh. But I definitely agree that at the bigger tracks, I think this will work really, really good for TV coverage. Because, you can kind of see what's going on in the short tracks and the 1.5 miles, so it's not a huge deal. But I think it would just enhance the broadcast so much more. You get MRN, who's already great with their broadcasts, plus you get to actually see what's going on instead of just hearing it. It's the perfect equation.
Okay. All right. So the next question is about overtime line. All righty. So we heard that the overtime line would now be the start-finish line. How much better is it now that the overtime line is gone? Cody, you're first.
2 words. Much better. That's all I'm going to say there. Much better.
Okay. Kelvin.
I'm pretty sure when we talked about this 3 weeks ago, I said it was going to be either at the start-finish line or it's going to be the restart zone where this would happen. And where did it end up? Back at the start-finish line.
Yep.
It's the only logical thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why make it a half a lap race if somebody wrecks in the first half of the thing? That is by far the dumbest decision that NASCAR's made within the last 10 years. That and the one Gen 2 car that they came out with, which was just awful looking. Oh, we want to make a futuristic looking car. Let's do this. And then it just looked awful and ran awful. So that's probably the second dumbest thing that they've done in the last 10 years when it's come to the sport.
Alrighty, here's what I'm thinking. Thank goodness NASCAR is putting the overtime line as the start finish line now, especially because Casey Kane won a race due to the overtime line.
He was beating anybody back to that line in Indianapolis anyway. He was that far ahead.
Yeah.
Nobody
wasn't catching him. Nobody was catching him. He would have had to be going 210 miles an hour through turn 3 just to catch up to his back bumper.
Yeah. It doesn't excuse what NASCAR did, but there was no way he was going to be caught.
Yeah.
He had a 7-car length lead by the time he got to that overtime line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great decision by NASCAR. I've been so mad at what NASCAR's been doing with their overtime ever since they decided to go back to that one green flag checker attempt at Talladega, and where we saw wrecking the trucks. He was out for turn 2, and then we saw Kevin Harvick being an idiot, wrecking the field just to get into the chase and end the race.
We've seen quite a few of these, so it's not just Harvick. We've seen there's so many calls that have come because this overtime line only being halfway down the backstretch that it makes no sense.
Yeah. Alrighty, Michael.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Elijah.
I've got 6 words. Good riddance, and thank you, NASCAR.
Yes, Marty.
That's 6.
Because that overtime line is, it was exciting like once they started using it, but then just like after that, the finishes just got so dumb. because I mean, yes, I mean those some of those overtime lines, we've seen some drivers like some drivers that we wanted to see win in such a long time, like Casey Kane, for example. I mean, I'm happy about that, but lately we've all noticed that somebody who's over at like the caution light button that turns the caution light on, they've been waiting for so long until they've got across the overtime line, then they put the caution out. So by putting that overtime line back to the start-finish line, it makes much more logical sense.
Another thing with this overtime line is if it's a green-white checker, why is the overtime line on the first lap around? And not on the second lap around, where they come and take the white flag. I could see if they took the white flag and then they hit that overtime line. Okay, the race is over. We're good to go. But guess what? You could race back to the line if there's nobody in danger of getting hit at the finish line.
Exactly. I mean,
which made no sense to have it on the first lap. Okay, sure. You're going to take the green flag. All you got to do is race to the other half of the track. You're good to go. We get a wreck. You're golden. Race back and you have to get to the other half. There's no green white checker at that point. It's green. Oh, okay, you're taking the yellow flag with the white flag. That's not green white checker. That's green caution finish line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it puts it back into what the fans wanted. They want it to be up to the drivers to decide, not to NASCAR to decide who's going to win a race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's. Yep.
All right, so let's talk about.
I forgot about Michael. He had a phone call.
Jeez, Marty, you're always forgetting about people.
GG, Marty.
Yeah. So I don't really have much else to say about the overtime line because you guys basically said it all. It's good that it's back to the way it used to be. It's not even really an overtime line anymore. It's just basically unlimited green white checkers. They did this whole overtime line thing in the first place so that, they get out to the cars quicker to check and make sure the drivers were okay and everything, because the whole thing that happened with Kevin Harvick and the Austin Dillon crash in 2015. If they're really that concerned about safety in the first place, make the cars safer. If you really think that someone's going to die, then obviously you don't think your cars are safe. But yeah, it's a good thing they put it back the way it used to be, and the drivers voiced their opinions about it too. So obviously no one was happy about it.
The only one who loved it was Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I can wreck the people, so I can use it to his advantage big time.
And Casey Kane, as Indy.
He would have. I still believe he would have won that one.
He still would have won. Maybe Byron is a better example. Byron probably likes it.
All right, so let's talk about start times now. So.
Oh my God. This one killed me.
The 3 o'clock start time? Oh, I think we got his answer to the next question.
Oh, I like this expression too.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so
that is great. That is
summed it up. Stay at 3 o'clock or go back to 1 o'clock start times.
What are they thinking? You're racing on a Sunday. People have to work on a Monday that didn't take work off because they're used to it being at 1 o'clock. The race is over by 4:30, 5 o'clock. You get out, you get home because you're in Watkins Glen. 95% of the people live within a 30-mile radius of that track that come to it. And guess what? They broke another record this weekend. Can't tell you the exact numbers because NASCAR won't put them out, but I could tell you it was over 95,000 people at that track this weekend. Just saying. That's why Watkins Glen's #1 when it comes to fan tracks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna tell our fans that you're gonna tell our fans, oh, we got to put you at 3 o'clock because that's how many fans you're gonna draw.
I think they're doing that just to boost like West Coast ratings on TV. I don't know.
But at the same time, if you're gonna race at 3 o'clock, you're gonna have to go to the old school way, which we talked about a month ago on this show, was you're gonna have to race the Xfinity Series on a Friday night and have your big boys race on a Saturday night. Why are we not doing that if you want to push the start times back? Get rid of Sundays and make it race back how it's raced on Saturday night dirt track, Friday night dirt track, and Thursday night dirt track racing. Your Truck Series can race on a Thursday night. Your Xfinity Series races on a Friday night, and then your Monster Energy Cup Series races on a Saturday night. There you go. That's how you solve this issue if you want to push your start times back to 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast. I get it if you're on the West Coast. It's got to be played later on the East Coast. You're on the East Coast. I'm sorry, West Coast. You can have a delayed taping played later on during the day.
But then they could use social media to figure out who wins the race.
Okay, so they're still going to turn in to watch to see all the excitement. Trust me, people turn into on TV out on the West Coast to see how many crashes they have because, trust me, the West Coast is not as redneck as we are out here on the East Coast.
Oh my lord!
I
don't know. Turn into season 2 of how you're faster than a redneck.
All right, just took the words right out of me. I agree with him. All righty, Michael.
No offense if you're Asian out there, but I've gotten a call from 3.
Asian? What?
Oh my
What?
gosh!
What?
Time for episode 2 of what Michael says.
I do not condone the word Asian in Michael's mouth.
Oh my!
Well, thank you, Michael. This is going on Funniest Moments of 2017, right there.
Good job.
I didn't even finish what I was gonna say. I've gotten 3 calls during this show. We've done the show for 40 minutes. I've gotten 3 calls from Asian people trying to talk to me about my credit card. I don't even have a credit card. Stop calling.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, why do the Asians care about American credit cards?
They want to be American.
I don't know.
Just stop calling. It's really irritating. Anyways,
All right,
what was the question?
All right, I think we just summed it up for you.
There you go.
Start times was the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 o'clock Eastern for Eastern races, 3 o'clock Eastern for West Coast races, and 7:30 Eastern for night races. What's so difficult about that? Being at the track after 6 o'clock is just brutal for people. People have work the next day. You know, they're not going to stay for the entire race if they have to leave and make it home in time so they can go to sleep and go to work the next day.
At Watkins Glen to finish that race, and that race wasn't even that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's another reason why people aren't going, because they're not going to make it home in time for work, and they can't afford to take days off, or they just don't have vacation days.
All right, Elijah.
My question exactly what Calvin said. What were they thinking? Because here's the thing. Yes, like if the race ends at like 6 or 7:30, people have got to drive straight back home, and then maybe they're gonna like have a little bit of time to kind of like do whatever they want. Then they got to go sleep and get ready for work. Another factor about this is heat. Because sometimes in the middle of the day, it can get really hot, and sometimes hot enough, somebody could have like a little bit of like a heat stroke, and then they could probably faint because of lack of hydration. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's almost like NASCAR wants more heat strokes or something like that, but I don't know. So, you know, I mean, no offense.
Wasn't it cool this weekend?
This was the coolest race they've had in like 20 years.
Yeah, I know Friday it was like in the 60s. Like
don't remind me. I was working it. I know.
All right, Cody.
Talking about the start times. Okay. Well, NASCAR, you put the start times later, and then take a look at your attendance lately. I mean, Indianapolis may have come close to the Guinness of World Records of the lowest percentage of seats taken in a major NASCAR race. That should be a world record.
How much were the tickets, by the way, for that race? I'm just curious.
100 and something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I would not have gone anyway.
Oh,
yeah. Where this weekend?
How much?
$115 just for Sunday.
Holy moly, dang.
And that's just
actually pretty
admission. That's not even sitting in the grandstands.
Wow.
Grandstand seats are sold out.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you read the J-Ski article, that guy's off by about 8,000 seats at Watkins Glen. There's 38,890, not 30,000 something. So he's off by like almost 9,000 seats for grandstand seating. Because he compares an article about why Watkins Glen and Indianapolis, why Indianapolis is getting so much heat when Watkins Glen doesn't for holding the same capacity. Okay, we also put 95,000 people inside there to the 30,000 that Indianapolis holds, which is okay. You want to complain about it? That's why people complain.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
All righty. All right, so we got.
That stopped me.
Yeah.
Just put it back earlier.
Oh yeah.
Just put it back earlier. That makes people more happy and to give them more time before going to work the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got one more question for you guys on discussion time, and it's about BK racing.
We skipped over one.
No, I don't. I decided to get rid of it.
You want to get rid of that one? Huh? That was a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question?
All right, if you guys want to know, we'll do it then. It's
Was
about
it about Crybaby?
No, it's about Bush.
Oh, because I
You're
found
close,
an
though.
interesting article about Crybaby.
Oh.
I think it's about his Twitter rant. You know what? Why not? Let's do that one.
Yeah, his Twitter rant was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys. All right, so if you guys are not on Twitter, Kyle Busch went on a social media rant post race on the trollers.
He replied to like 150 people, man.
I read every single one as well.
Crazy.
Good idea. So the question is, good idea for Kyle Busch to troll back the trollers on it. I'm not gonna answer this question at all. I don't really have a saying for it. I'm gonna let Michael start off.
Well, Kyle, what do you think?
Got to cut out people back.
I think he likes doing it. Look how happy.
I think he's thinking that everything's great.
Look how happy he is.
Everything's great when you're driving Toyotas.
Yeah, I mean, if
definitely.
he wants to, I'm not gonna stop him. Jimmy Johnson did the same thing for a while, but you know, I'm not.
All right. Let's go to you, Elijah.
Okay, so because on the podcast yesterday, we kind of, there was something else that we kind of touched on a little bit, but it kind of pointed kind of something similar to what happened on Twitter when Kyle Busch was kind of fighting back against the trollers. I mean, it's a hard call, but I'm gonna say it's a bad idea because what if somebody gets offended? You know?
Yeah, true.
They could, because that trolling kind of fighting back against one of your fans can sometimes make you lose fans. Especially, like what happened in that, I think in that little radio chatter that happened on Sunday. But, just it. I know it's like a personality-driven sport, but just doing that, just fighting back against your fans is just completely roasting them right on the spot because they're trying to troll you. It's just completely uncalled for.
All right, let's go to you, Cole.
Oh boy.
No.
So I got
Who's that
two
going?
notes for this one. Note number one. It is a pretty bad idea to fight back on your fans, even when they're not offending you whatsoever. Because we talked about this a few months ago with Danica Patrick, if we can recall back to the press conference controversy we had before. So with Kyle Busch doing that is not good for him whatsoever. And I'd like to bring up a second note, and I am not 100% sure if it's a good idea to mention. So I am going to go around this one just so I don't get in trouble with anyone. So he said some choice words in the press conference. And if you take a look at a website I found, mesn.com, there will be an article that says that Kyle Busch said and I am going to leave these words blank because I'm not sure if I'll get in trouble for saying it or not.
You can say he will beep.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
The rest people can find out for themselves.
Yes.
I may be able to find a sound effect for you, Cody.
Yep, so it says he will blank. I'm not going to say what that word is. Brad Keselowski after the Watkins Glen crash. Now, that specific word he said, I think can get him into a lot of trouble. And what I mean by trouble,
yeah.
I mean by pretty big trouble.
I do have a good
NASCAR
reference.
or JGR manages it right.
Cody, if I can interrupt you here real quick. That was a similar thing that kind of happened in 2002. In the truck race, Kevin Harvick got spun out by Coy Gibb, and he said on the radio, "I'm going to."
Jake.
Hello, Jake. Coy Gibb. No, I'm just kidding. But Jake's finally here. Yay! He's going to blank Coy Gibbs. He spins Coy Gibbs around. Harvick gets parked, not just for the day, but for the rest of the weekend because of it.
Wow.
Hi.
Wait.
Okay. So
Cody.
with that
I am back.
Wait. Okay. No, stop it. Okay, go ahead and say the quote again.
I am going.
He says that Kyle Busch says he will. Brad Keselowski after the crash at Watkins Glen. Yep.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That word that I am not going to say here could get him into a lot of trouble, but we're going to have to wait and see how NASCAR or Joe Gibbs Racing deals with this.
Let's just call it. Let's say he wants to kick him.
That's the word. That's the word.
Right? I know it starts with a K.
Yeah.
It starts with.
It starts. I got this. It starts with a K and ends in ill. So.
I don't know if I should say it
all right,
here.
let's just continue on.
That's what I just said.
I know what it is. I know what it is, but
let's just continue.
I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it.
All right, let's just continue on, guys. Yeah, we got.
All right.
Continue on. What do you think, Kelvin?
Well, Cody brought it up. Danica Patrick was the topic of discussion about a month and a half ago.
Yep.
Where she went up to a fan, and you all wanted to bash her for it, but I took her side on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the same thing for him because he did it over Twitter. And he told his crew chief, you better keep me away from him because if I see him, I'm going to blank him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Why are we listening to people on the radio after they get wrecked? I'm sorry. It's just like sticking a microphone in a guy in UFC's face after he gets knocked out. Why do we have to go talk to these guys right after they get involved in a wreck? Let them relax for an hour before they get thrown in front of a camera.
We want emotion. We want pure raw.
Yeah, you want the emotion, but guess what? You're going to get it. Guess what? He did it a day later after the race. He went on. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go start throwing some fans back.
Right now,
good for him. If somebody's sitting there bashing me on Twitter, I'm going to go defend myself and be like, yo, this is what's going on. And then at the same time, I'm going to flash some money in their face and be like, look what I'm doing, look what you're doing. And guess what? All your haters will hate you even more. And guess what? That's what NASCAR needs. They need people to hate. They need people to love. And the people you're going to love and hate, him is going to be one you're going to hate. Keselowski's one you're going to hate. Logano's another one I can't stand. Let's see. How far can I go into this before I start naming people I like? Eric Jones, he's a good one because you're wearing an Eric Jones shirt.
Benedetto.
Suarez. I like Daniel Suarez. Chase Elliott, I have no issue with. Jimmy Johnson, he just wins too much. Too many championships, but he's like the New York Yankees. Everybody likes to hate him because he wins too much.
Everyone hates him because he's successful. Why?
Yeah, I don't get that.
No, that's why people love to hate him. That and Chad Knaus. Can't stand Chad Knaus' arrogance. He comes off as arrogant, but I don't think he really is.
I don't think he means it, but I could see why people think he comes off as it.
So, I mean, that's what NASCAR needs. They need people to hate. They need people to love. And the more you have to hate, the better your sport is because people want to root against them. And Kyle Busch is the prime example of being the one to hate. So with him being there, being the one to hate and then trolling back, it makes more people hate him. And then it just turns into, okay, we're going to tune in just to see how you could screw up again this week because you screwed up at Watkins Glen because you were number one all throughout stage one. Stage two, you kind of fell off because you got wrecked by Keselowski. And then stage three, you got a penalty. So there you go. That's why you didn't win at Watkins Glen. You won at Pocono because your car was just wicked fast. Yeah. And then all the other 9 races this year that you should have won, you messed up yourself. or got wrecked by Truex. But oh wait, you overdrove the corner, so Truex had no option but to bump into you and wreck you in Indianapolis. So,
Alrighty. So now we get to the final question discussion time. It's about BK Racing with their 3 tax lanes and having trouble putting the 83 in for some of the races we've had the past month. Is this the beginning of the end for BK Racing? Jake, you're first.
Well, obviously, yeah, because A, they're a bad team. 2, they can barely get two cars in. And C, yeah, they kind of ruined careers. They almost ruined Alex Bowman's career. They almost ruined Matt Benedetto's career. Kind of.
Are you okay, by the way, Jake?
What?
Are you okay, by the way?
Sounds like you got something in your throat.
Yeah.
You got microphone
Mike's
problems there, old bud.
Yeah, Mike's staticky.
Oh, wait, I am?
No, Jake's Mike.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, Mike. That's funny.
Oh,
sorry,
boy.
but
Sorry about
sorry about
that, Michael.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
So, yeah, I feel like it was been the beginning of the end anyway, because of all this stuff that's been happening in BK Racing as of late. Because, I mean, last year they had like 4 cars in the Daytona 500. Now they can just barely get 2 in. And, yeah.
Alrighty. Cody.
Well, I made a prediction for 2018 that after the 2018 season, BK Racing will shut down. And I also do predict that they'll just have 1 car in 2018. And that might be the number 83. Because here's the thing, GMS Racing has the 23 and 96 for their trucks and, never mind, the Xfinity Series, not the trucks. So trying to get those numbers in the Cup Series will be pretty complicated because Grunt Brothers Racing, who does the Super Speedway races, they have the 96. And then you get BK Racing, which has the 23. So what could be a possible negotiation will be BK Racing will go down to a 1-car team but gives the 23 to GMS. And then what will happen there will be the 83 will be like maybe quite a handful of drivers in there before they shut down. And the 23 would be driven by Casey Kane, despite that'll be a pretty heated debate between family and true talent. But I think in the end, Kane's going to get it anyway. So I'm going to say it will be the beginning of the end for BK Racing, unfortunately. It's just seeing more and more underfunded teams being sucked into the sucker hole. I'll honestly not be surprised if the premium Motorsports guys are going to go down next because of it.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing with BK Racing at premium. Is my mic working okay now? Because I just unplugged my
Yeah,
it's just
key. Kind of.
I mean, we can hear you.
Or no?
We can hear
Yeah, we can hear you.
But your microphone's been suffering from some sort of earthquake or something. I don't know.
Earthquake.
something
Oh
stuck
no!
in
It's getting all
Oh,
over
no.
again.
All right, let's go to you,
Yeah,
Kelvin.
maybe I should just get like a mic for like this podcast, so it doesn't sound like whatever it sounds like to you guys.
For
He's
you.
a transformer.
Yeah, I'm a transformer.
come
There
Miami,
we go.
They won't have
Chicken
anybody.
Prime. There you go.
come Miami, they won't be able to field a team. They are that broke.
Mhm.
They'll be lucky if they make it with 1 car to Miami. This year, they'll sell it to GMS. GMS will own the rights to all the numbers that they have. And GMS will not field the team in the Monster Cup Series next year. They will wait a year and then prove in their Xfinity department and then come up in 2019. That's when GMS enters in 2019. Whoa.
I see BK Racing ending by the end of the season. I think they'll only have 1 car headed to Miami. But I see them going to the end of the season. They sell all their cars to GMS Racing. GMS Racing announces they switch to Toyota. They move up to the Cup Series, and they get a driver. May not be. It could be Casey King, but right now, if Casey King goes to the 10, I'd say, to be honest, you ready for what I'm going to say? Matt Kenseth to the GMS car.
I don't know. I don't think Kenseth hasn't been offered anything.
He could retire after this season. I wouldn't be surprised though if we saw that.
Yeah, Matt could want to compete for Daddy's boy.
Actually, I kind of see like Matt Kenseth retiring, not really going into a ride.
Holy cow, he sounds much better.
Yeah, he does. He must have transformed.
Yeah. All right, Michael, what do you think?
Didn't you mention earlier that the IRS is getting involved with the team now?
Yes.
They're done. They're done. I don't know.
Yeah, it's over.
Didn't they say that they were going to be done after Indy or before Indy or something like that?
Oh yeah, they did.
How are they still going? I don't understand that. Yeah, their only hope now is that GMS will buy their cars and they can get out of this season.
GMS is smart. They would use that as a to get it for a cheaper price.
I feel like all of BK Racing's cars will be wrecked because of Corey LaJoy.
Yeah.
So that helps cover some budget.
Yeah.
Guys, real quick, I gotta play Legal ID for 14 seconds, so give me a quick moment.
WGCC.
Batavia's best music.
Now, commercial free all day.
In even more places with the TuneIn Radio app.
Available for Apple and Android.
This is 90.7 FM.
Alrighty. So let's go to you, Elijah, for that final question.
Okay. So I'm going to have to agree with you and Calvin. Probably BK Racing will probably just only field one car once they get to Miami. Then after that, they're probably just going to call it quits. Because when BK Racing made the switch to bring some more young talent up, I mean, I appreciate that they did that. But however, we didn't really expect, like, I was like really hoping some great things would come out of Corey LaJoy and Gray Golding. Turns out that wasn't the case. I mean, yeah, LaJoy, who kept wrecking every single race, he kept kind of running it as if it was like a top 15, top 10 car. But literally every time he tried to do that, he would just make a mistake. Same can be said for Gray Golding. And, you know, just in the situation that BK Racing is in right now, you know, just I don't see him making it past. I don't see him like I see him barely making it past 2017, but I don't even see him making it to 18. I don't see him doing it.
Alrighty. So that does it for discussion time, by the way. Let's just see real quick what you guys are seeing in the chat, what you guys are all thinking. Hi to Jaden Scott. Hi to Kenny Stremmy. Elijah, I did send you the invite. I
mean, like, I didn't get it the first time.
Oh, that's
so I had to ask for a link.
Yeah, I think I just sent it via the Hangouts application.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, like if you send an invite to me, I don't really get it. For whatever, I don't know why. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the predictions. So, recapping the standings here. By the way, I'm gonna give myself a shout out because who picked Truex for the race this past weekend?
I guess
nobody cares.
That's
what Michael said.
Oh yeah, guys. I also like to mention that I know I wasn't there for last time at Motorsports 360. And I like to address something. I was wrong about something.
What?
I said before Pocono that this would be the first season that Kyle Busch doesn't pick up a win. I'd like to address that I was wrong. I know the apocalypse is happening. I know you can tell that from my mic, and yeah.
Alrighty. So let's recap the standings. Right now, I'm in the points league with 83. Michael is second with 74. Cody is third with 71. Fourth is Jake with 64. And fifth is Gas with 22. Now, here's the thing.
We have two.
We have 6 people. 4 of our regulars and 2 guests. How do we do this? Well,
let's
we have
see,
a simple
Marty.
decision. Whatever Elijah and Kelvin pick, we combine the points then. So
Sure. Okay.
6 and they get 5.
Okay, we can do
He has
that.
6 or make it. He has 6 or 7, and Elijah has 5. And that means they're gonna have up to 11 or 12 points. Be a big game for the guests.
Wait, what?
All right.
I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay.
Say that again.
I see.
So the order for predictions is going to be Elijah, then Kelvin, then Jake, then Cody, then Michael, then myself.
Wait. I wasn't listening. Are we doubling the points?
Oh, well, Kelvin and Elijah, they're combining their points together.
Oh, okay.
All right, Calvin, we got to work as a team here.
So we have 3 races for this weekend, all NASCAR. 2 of them are just going to be regulars, and the third one, where you can pick whoever you want. And the third one is the diecast pick, where you cannot pick the same driver. Unless you're Kelvin and Elijah, then you two could.
Marty.
Hi.
So we're going to Darlington this week, right?
Michigan.
No.
Oh, Michigan.
Unfortunately, not.
The Michigan Pier 400.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so I got to redo this. Hold on.
All right, so we start things off with the LTI Printing 200 for the Trek Series. That is a Saturday race at 1 o'clock on FS1. Here are your normal entries for the race. I think all I'm just going to say for the normal entries in the race for this weekend is him. Yes, that's right. Him and Bubba Wallace in the 99, but him in you know what.
You
All
know
right.
what?
I'm going to start off with Elijah. By the way, we do not mention his name or his number.
Speaking of him, he's at my local short track of Kalamazoo Speedway, getting ready to race at the Kalamazoo Clash right now.
Go there right now and go meet him.
Guys, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay.
So I'm not going to pick him. So this leaves me with Chase Briscoe, one of the hottest rookies of the Truck Series. So I'm going to pick him.
All right. Kelvin. You want to see the entry list?
No, I know who I'm going with.
Who you
I'm
going
just
with?
prolonging it for you. The number 4, Christopher Bell, wins back-to-back.
All righty. We got now. Jake, it's time.
Jake!
It's time.
All right,
Oh
Cody.
my gosh. Him. I'm just gonna say him.
Okay. Michael.
Every time I go with Kyle Busch in the Truck Series, he wrecks. Every time I don't go with him, he wins. I mentioned his name. I'm sorry. But what do I do here?
You traitor, by the way.
Oh, for the sake of NASCAR Nation, him wrecks.
And who wins?
I'm going with him to win so that him will wreck.
Okay.
Every time you
I like the theory.
I like that, Michael.
Michael, show your
Let's
cutout.
make it
Show your
happen.
cutout.
Let's make it happen.
Hang on.
Wait. It was cut out on the video feed of Motorsports 360.
He's the cutout man. Cutout man.
Hey,
Yeah,
you,
because
him, you. I'm talking to you. You happy that I'm picking you? You like that smile on your face? Yeah, I'm picking you. You better be happy about it.
You would.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm
The
picking him to win. I'm picking him to win.
The smile says it all.
And then there's her.
For the quasi girl.
Yeah.
Pick her.
You pick her to win. All right, scratch my pick. I'm picking her to win. I almost
I already picked her.
Goodness.
All right, now we get
That's all right. Coming to New Go
Series.
Daddy girl.
All right, we get to the Xfinity Series race. It's the Mid-Ohio Challenge. This is on at 3:30 p.m. after the truck race, but then you have to switch it to NBCSN. So your normal entries. This will be interesting. So, be a lot of them. So listen closely. Jordan Creed is in the 01, Ben Kennedy the 2, Scott Legacy Jr. in the 4, Josh
No, in the
Bilicki in
3.
the 8, Garrett Smithley in the 15, Regan Smith in the 18, JD Davison's in the 20, Sam Hornish Jr. the 22. Let's see, who else do we got as we go down the list? Justin Marks back in the 42, Anthony Kumpen in the 46, Let's see who else. Casey Mears in the 98. Am I forgetting anyone else? This guy named Gregory Vanderskies in the 77.
Gregory Vandersluis.
Lewis, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it.
Lewis, I don't know.
All right, let's get to them. Elijah, who's your pick?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. He did this last year in the rain. I think he's gonna do it on a nice, clean, dry racetrack. Justin Marks.
What do you think, Kelvin?
Driver the number 22, Sam Hornish Jr.
Ooh.
Jake.
It's time.
Jake. All right, Cody.
All right. Since there's a whole bunch of different road ringers,
I'm back.
I am
Now he's back.
Jay.
Who are you picking for the truck race and who are you picking for the Xfinity race, Jake?
You cut Cody off.
Keep cutting Cody off.
Wow.
Jake has to come
All right.
through.
So did you get the predictions yet?
We're just to the truck race.
We're just
Now
at the
we're
truck
gonna
race.
Okay, truck race. I'm going Christopher Bell.
You
Bell's
said-
not for the Xfinity series. Jake.
What?
darn it.
Xfinity prediction.
Who are you gonna win the Xfinity race?
Oh, what was that?
Who wins the Xfinity race?
I'm going right there. Substitute.
If this
driving the
was
18
a
this week.
featured race, I would
He is
be
going to
mad
win.
at you.
All right.
So I would say Regan Smith as well.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna go with Elijah. Justin Marks with the win, the 42.
Hey, you skipped me.
Get Michael this
Oh
time.
my goodness, I'm so
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Everybody forgets about
Just
Michael.
because you did.
The quote unquote king of predictions.
I should get 2 extra points because Marty skipped me.
No.
No, that's not how it
Marty
works.
skipped anybody during the thing that all
I
get
mean,
points.
Jake like 2 weeks in a row.
All right. Yeah. I was gonna go with Regan Smith too.
Alrighty. Now, all right. So we have a few Regan Smiths. We got to see them who's and 2 Justin Marks. All right, get your diecast ready. It's time for the Cup race.
All right, it's
All right,
time
I
to
got
get my
3 at my disposal.
open up.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna do something a little
Ah.
bit special here in just a second. I'm going to set her up right now. I'm gonna set her up right now. I'm gonna see if the camera works first.
All right.
I'm gonna do something a little.
He's been off the mics, by the way.
Something a little interesting, okay? Darn it! Come on!
It's time to open up my magical box of
Oh,
dice.
never mind. I was pressing the wrong button. Darn me!
All right, I got my 3 diecasts just in
Okay.
case
And I
Calvin and
just
Elijah
got this.
choose mine.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna
Face
wait.
reveal.
Face reveal? Is that a
There
face
we go.
reveal,
There
Cody?
we go.
Skin reveal now. A face
Face
reveal.
reveal. Face reveal.
It's official,
Ab
man.
reveal.
Face
Cody, I
reveal.
like your
I
glasses.
plan to do something really special here today.
That's right.
I like your
I'm gonna do
glasses,
something
Cody.
very thanks. You know, I actually showed this face to like Elijah and Boyles like for the first time. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this eventually since I accidentally showed myself like how many times already, folks? Did we count to 10?
I think the first time you accidentally revealed your face, I think you had a mustache.
Yeah, I decided
Guys.
to shave it off like right after prom or something. And by the way,
Guys,
nobody told me about the mustache before I shaved it off. I just decided to do it myself.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to what we're doing. Elijah, you got your prediction?
Okay. So, I didn't realize I was going to go up first. If you look at the past 3 Michigan races, who's finished second all 3 times?
I have
Chase
no
Elliott.
idea.
I'm going with Chase Elliott because he finished runner-up 3 times. 4th time is the charm. He's going to do it again. He's going to do it. He's going to get his
You got
first
the
win.
hat as well.
Yeah. I had no idea he was gonna do that.
I was gonna call it that the first
Oh,
person
sure you
was
didn't.
going
All right,
to
Kelvin.
was gonna
He's
pick
getting
Chase
ready.
Elliott.
He's going to bring up a photo. I don't have any diecast for him today.
Who he's gonna
my
pick? They're gonna get the
gosh.
maximum amount of points
Don't
too.
you dare!
Don't worry,
you
nobody has
dare.
this guy. Nobody's gonna pick this guy. Not even in a million years, nobody's gonna pick this guy this weekend. Trust
Are
me.
you picking
Okay.
Derek Cope?
No, he has to run in order to get picked.
Oh my god! Get ready, folks.
Okay.
He has to-
So how many people? How many people led last time they were at Michigan? How many people actually led a lap in that race?
I don't know, like
Probably 5, maybe. I have no clue.
10. I don't know.
3.
2.
3 people
Hey, I
led.
got it right.
The winner, who led 96 laps. Truex, who led 50, and then him led the rest of however many there were. No, Martin Truex led 62. Kyle Busch, him, led 40. That's it. Those are the only 3 people who led. This guy I'm picking, finished in the top 10 in this race, ran well in that race, had 2 issues on pit road, or might have been contending for the W.
Got it.
Not Joey Logano. He did have issues on pit road, but Joey was up there. This is your surprise of the week, right here. This man has won at Michigan before. His chase hopes are dwindling down. His chase hopes are dwindling down in his final year.
Oh,
Junior. Okay, you're good.
Man.
I like you're good.
I didn't even. This is probably.
I guess I'm next.
This is probably his best chance to win this weekend.
Hold on. I gotta get it real quick. I'll be back.
But I'll wait till Jake's done.
All right, I'm back. Well, this guy has won before. He already has 2 wins this season. He has 3 overall in his career.
I'm not surprised by this one. Congratulations.
I'm not surprised either.
I'm not surprised by anything.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you won't be surprised if Kyle Larson goes to victory lane this week.
He's the king of the 2-milers.
So you're picking?
Yes.
Well,
God.
Jake.
Ow.
Jake.
So I'm choosing him.
You have made one mistake in that pick.
Did I choose your guy?
Because you stole my
Did I
pick,
choose
darn
it! Seems like every time we do predictions, I always steal Cody's
I like
pick.
the rage.
Oh,
I
he's
like that rage.
He's not Cody's biggest fan at the moment. That's
I
right.
lined him up so perfectly. It was pretty much air destructible until those 2 came.
Cody, I think Cody come back.
Every time we do this predictions, it seems like at least one person chooses Cody's pick.
Oh man,
got something. He's got something. He's got Jaws. Done.
He's bringing out the big die cast, not the 164.
He's bringing out. He's bringing out a bringing out a blow up balloon of a die cast.
Great job, because I have no clue who to pick now. Because here's the thing from the past Michigan race. Here's what I thought was going to go down. We would only have 4 people. Jake would pick Chase Elliott and steal everybody's pick. Then I move on and pick Kyle Larson. Then Michael would probably pick Logano. And then Marty would be stuck with somebody and probably get 1 point. Because that's what happened in the first Michigan race.
He would probably pick Truex, and Truex would win.
Oh, Lord. Don't mention Truex to them already.
Don't ever mention Truex.
I don't want to have him win again, at least until the chase. So, we at Michigan, when we did the picks before, we had Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and Eric Jones. Who was the loser out of all of them? The points leader, myself. And who was the top 3 again? Kyle Larson, which Marty got 5 points over that. Then we got Chase Elliott, which Jake got 3 points. And then Joey Logano, which Michael got 2. So I am going to pick the last safe one. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get 1 point out of this guy, despite he gave me 1 point last week. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure he's going to mess me up again this week, but I'm just going to take the risk because it's go home for me at this point, because look how many points I'm back with Marty. I'm going to pick this guy. Joey Logano gets the win.
If only I could bring the yays and boo sound effects on.
Would Joey
Alrighty.
Leon get the boo?
Focus on Michael now.
Yes, Logano would get the boo.
Okay.
It's my last safe pick to avoid getting 1 point for the third week in a row.
Wait, I can hang on. I can bring them over here. Hey, guys. Hey, yays and boo people, come over here.
All right, Michael.
Okay, so we've got Chase, Jr., Larson, and Logano. That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
Dang.
All the good ones are gone.
I really want to go Truex because I know
I-
Marty is going to pick Truex if I don't, and then Truex is probably going to win again. We can't let Marty win. We just can't let Marty win. I don't think Truex is going to win this weekend, though. I feel like I have to go with a surprise here. Okay. I feel like I have to go with a surprise here, just like Kelvin. I really do. See if I can't make some kind of ground on Marty. This
Heck,
guy
I need to. Otherwise, I'm out of running.
absolutely dominated Michigan a few years ago. I mean, he led almost every single lap. Probably one of the most boring races we've ever been to. I think Marty went to this race, actually. I'm not really sure. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was the most boringest race I ever saw in my life.
Oh, wait.
It was also the shortest, I think. I know.
Boringest isn't a word, but yeah.
Yeah.
The most boring.
But
That's
sure, why not?
could be appropriate.
This guy is on the outside looking. Well, he's not on the outside, but he's 16 points. He needs a big jump. He really needs something to catapult his career right now. Because it's down the dumps. He hasn't had the greatest of all seasons, but Michigan completed a place that he rebounds. Padre, you're going to be very excited about this pick. Matt Kenseth wins this weekend.
Oh.
Is your dad home, by the way?
Huh?
Michael, is your dad home, by the way?
No. But he
Oh.
is listening, so give a great shout out to my dad who's listening to us right now.
Hi, Mike's dad.
Mike's dad.
Hello, Mike's dad.
Howdy.
Alrighty.
Partner.
Alrighty, you guys. So my prediction for this weekend.
Just say 2x so we can get out of here. Just
Oh.
And I'll cue the boos.
just say
Oh,
Truex. Truex is gonna win.
The booing
Marty's
noise.
gonna brag again.
So I was thinking for my pick to be Brad Keselowski for this weekend. I did bring the diecast.
I'm
But
okay with
come on, guys. Are we really stupid? We haven't picked the guy that led laps in the June race and has 34 playoff points this year, and I'm wearing his teammate's shirt, and he won at Watkins Glen, and he's a points leader? You gotta pick!
Hey, Marty, the camera.
Nope. Camera.
That was great.
You
That
gotta pick him! I'm DJ!
That just means Truex is blowing up on
I'm
the
GJ.
lap. That's all that means.
I don't know what. I think my pick is kind of a bit better.
Can you do us all a favor?
Hang on.
Michigan.
Lead all two stages, then wreck, and then my boy Kansas can come through and win race.
Come on, Mike.
Alright, so let's
I honestly don't know.
Hey, how come none of us
Dang
picked
it.
Kyle Busch? He's been the fastest car for like the past month.
I'm
Hey,
glad we
you
didn't.
know his name.
Because he finds ways to lose races.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't pick him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Good thing we did it.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Oh yeah, guys. I noticed something.
Hey, guys, my dad just sent me a text and he said hello, so he is listening.
Yeah.
Hi.
Alright, so before we end Motorsports 360, we have one more segment for you, and that is stuff Ricky Allen says. But Ricky Allen's not here, so Michael, you have stuff that Lee Diffie says?
No, I didn't know we were gonna do that again.
Let's bring the action. That was what Michael says.
Let's bring the action.
Yeah, it's time to bring the action.
Oh,
All right, one more thing before we do end the show. I do want to give a happy birthday shout out to Michael.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, happy
Oh,
birthday.
happy birthday.
Birthday's in a few days.
Happy birthday.
It's on
We can't sing it.
Oh,
Because,
You
yeah,
can't sing it. It's a copyright rule.
it's copywritten. We'll get sued.
Yeah.
What a Warner Brothers. No, I'm joking.
Oh, I wanted to say real quick. I think it's funny the way that Lee Diffie says Kurt Busch. He says, "Cut Busch."
Cat Bush.
Oh my god.
It's an Australian accent.
Yeah, he's from Australia, mate.
I just think it's funny.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this episode of Motorsports 360. Let me just make sure. I should be able to.
Oh, Marty's birthday is coming up too. It's on the 13th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so let's give
Oh yeah, my.
Hey, that's when I get to go to
That was
MIS.
also, wait a minute. My birthday's coming up on the 1st of September too.
Your shadow is in a few weeks.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
gonna be a couple weeks for us birthdays wise.
All right, so yeah, that does it for another good episode of Motorsports 360. Next episode, same time, same place, 4 o'clock Eastern time next Tuesday. That's actually our last episode of the summer before Kelvin and I get back to college. 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that word.
Hey, you
College.
Go on Thursday. You guys should be thankful.
Yeah, you still got a couple weeks. You still got a couple.
No,
weeks.
I've got a couple years because I'm gonna go into my junior year, then after that senior year, and I'm done.
Senior year, it's all downhill from there.
I started.
But after my senior year, I'm gonna take a break from school the whole entire year. So
you're gonna drop out?
It's my senior year, guys.
Well, I'm not really gonna drop out.
And I started.
It's gonna be my freshman year in college.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna start college on the 21st.
You'll be all right. Yeah. So do we.
I'll be fine.
For Cody, for Jake, for Elijah, for Michael, for Kelvin, I'm Marty. Since so long, say bye, everyone. Bye.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Get a dodge.
Get a dodge.
Debbie.
We did it. Oh wait, who's that?